Welcome to the Game Plan, brought to you by your local New England Honda dealers. I'm Tom Giles. Tommy Curran also down in West Palm Beach. Phil Perry's back here in New England. They're both going to join us. We're also going to hear more from Mac Jones, as well as Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to our biggest edition of the offseason here on the Game Plan. And standing at 6'2", 325 pounds, at the University of Miami, a 5-time Pro Bowler and 2-time Super Bowl champion, as well as a 2022 selection into the Patriots Hall of Fame, and perhaps one of the most entertaining figures in Hard Knocks history. That would be Vince Wilfork. Vince joining us right now from his home in Houston. And thanks so much for joining us, Vince. How's everything going for you?
Everything's going well, man. It's good to be talking with you guys, especially with the football season here. It's finally back, so we're pretty excited.
Well, how's that excitement compare to what it's like during your playing days when you're getting set for that first game after going through kind of the grueling stretch of training camp and the preseason schedule?
You know, I think when I played, it was more of, okay, game day, and your mind was focused on other things. Now being retired, I'm excited about sports itself, football itself. So being able to sit back and tailgate and eat and drink what you want to do now as retired, it was a little different, you know. It was a little different when I played, but it's always an exciting time at the beginning of football year, though.
What was it like when you played? What are some of the players, the Patriots players right now, what are they going through as they get set for the 2022 season?
Well, you know what, they're thinking about everything, how they finished the season last year, you know, how big of a game it is, starting in the division on the road at 1 o'clock. So you think about everything that you've done up to this point and how you can all put it together, how you can mesh together. At the beginning of the year, you know, you play three preseason games now, and sometimes you like what you see, sometimes you don't. So everybody's in the same boat right now. So it's all about execution and conditioning at the beginning of the year. So it's going to be a tough match, you know, being in the division and heading down south in South Florida for the first game of the year. It's always tough, you know, because you got weather, the opponent that you're very familiar with, they're very familiar with you, and it's your first game of the season. So nobody want to start off 0-1. So, you know, it all goes back to conditioning and being able to execute your game plan, what you have forth, and it's still a learning curve. So the new additions that you have on your team, you kind of figure out and see you can plug them in where they need to be plugged in at and see if it works, you know. So that's why a lot of times you see teams in the middle of the season, either they go one or two ways. Either they go up or they go down because they finally figured out some stuff, and then, you know, of course, dealing with injuries. So I'm pretty excited for the season, though. I think it's a great matchup we're starting off with, and you got to have all your eggs in one basket right now here down in South Florida.
And we'll get further into the matchup in just a bit, but I want to get a little more your take on, you know, the Patriots. Much is being made about them going down there early this week, getting acclimated to the weather down in Palm Beach. So do you think that can help in this situation, being down there practicing on a Wednesday for a game that's on a Sunday, to kind of get acclimated to the humidity and everything else that you're going to see down in Florida?
Yeah, I think it can help. You know, I think I've only had the luxury of go down there a day before or 2 days before a game. And, you know, when you're dealing with a different climate, it's just totally different ball game this early. And then now it's your first live action. That everything counts. So preseason is different than regular season. So anything that you can do to have an edge to face an opponent, you do. And I think he made the right decision to head down there a little earlier this year, something that they've probably done for the first time, and see how it helped, because, you know, over the years and over time, we struggled down there early in the year. And one of the main factors was the weather and the heat. So hopefully we can get some good cloud coverage down there, so it kind of it won't be the 80 degrees that they used to in Boston, but it'd be a lot better than the 95 degrees that they have down in Miami.
Did Bill ever do anything when you were playing where you guys would kind of be standing there thinking like, well, I don't really understand why we're doing this, but then you look back on it in retrospect and you're like, okay, he knew what he was doing and that was the right decision?
Yeah, I've always understood why he was doing certain things. I mean, it was so many different, you know, decisions that need to be made, and everything Bill do is try to be for the betterment of the team, you know, and a lot of guys don't understand it, but the guys that do understand it were your leaders, and Bill sit down and talk to his captains and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Now it's up to the captain to kind of, you know, spread the word to the players of, hey, this is what we're trying to get out of this. This is why we're doing this. So We don't need no bickering. We don't need nobody upset or mad. This should help us. And once you be on one accord, you could basically walk through a wall, and I think over the years, Patriots, that was one of the main things that they always had when I was there, when I left their leadership, and everybody falling in line. So I think it's going to work out for the better for New England going down there way couple of days ahead of time before the game, and we should see a different ball game.
Well, and the other thing, too, is, Vince, that I guess part of that question leads into the next thing I want to get to is just the Patriots changing up the offense a little bit here and going into a zone run scheme. Having defended against that, I would assume against the Broncos, maybe a few other teams, how difficult is it to defend against the scheme that the Patriots seem to be adopting on offense? And even though they might go through some growing pains, how beneficial could that be for them in the long term?
I think it's very beneficial because as offense, you don't need, in a zone and stretch running team, you don't need, a big time back or a big name back to run that scheme. It's all about execution from up front, and then your running back having good vision. And I know with the coaching up there in New England, they're going to be coached very, very well. So I think it's going to benefit them more than hurt them with the backs that they already have and with the offensive line and just what's being taught. As a defender, it's tough playing guys like that because everybody's at the point of attack on the defensive line, and so, the backside can't take it easy. The front side can't take it easy. So you put a lot of pressure on the defense when you're running the scheme like this. And all you got to do is just stay on blocks and chip up to the next level and just grind it out. And you'll find that big play. Every now and then you will find that big run that you're looking for. But I think it's pretty cool that they're doing this. And with the backs that they have and with the offense they have, it'll help, the quarterback out, second year coming in. Your passing game, it'll help everything. So I think it's going to be. I think he made the right decision with this call.
Part of this too is change up in the coaching staff as well. I know that Matt Patricia was on the staff when you played for the Patriots on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how closely you worked with him, but are you surprised to see him making the switch over to the offensive side?
Not at all, because when I was a rookie, he was on the offensive side already. So he came on the defensive side after I got there. So I've known Matty P from being an offensive guy from day one when I was there, when I was drafted. So I don't think it's by mistake. And I think Matty's going to do a great job over there, because one thing I know is Bill, they have a lot of communication going on and everybody's always in the mix with everything. So Matt won't be calling all the plays. It's always a team effort from the coaching staff to the players. So I have full confidence in Matt, knowing what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball, because he's proven himself there with me when I was a rookie, when he was already over there. So I think Bill, if you look at it, Bill have, a couple of head coaches that's coaching with him, that's offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators. They can be head coaches, and some already have been head coaches. So I think they're in good hands. I really do.
Meanwhile, you did bring up Mac Jones a little earlier, and I just don't want to circle back to that. What do you think of Mac Jones so far? What do you think about him going into his second year in the NFL, and does he remind you at all of any former Patriots quarterbacks?
I don't try to, compare players, but his second year going in, I think he should be ahead of the curve. Now he have a year upon his belt, and second year as a quarterback in that system. I know Bill going to do things to help him and protect him, but at some point they're going to have to take the handcuffs off of him and let him kind of flourish, and it's going to be up to him. And everything I've seen and know about him is he works hard. He came to camp in good shape. He looked different. He looked mature. He looked bigger. He looked stronger. I mean, he's demanding the respect from his teammates, the leadership, that quality. He's demanding everything a quarterback should demand from his team. Now it's time for him and the team to play for each other. So I'm looking forward for him to have a breakout year, honestly, and prove a lot of people wrong. And, once you get to that third year, now you're cooking with Crisco. But I think it's going to start this year. We're going to see some stuff from Matt Jones, and starting with the running game, I believe that's going to help him out a lot and going to help the Patriots out a lot.
Will it start in week one? I need a very quick Vince Wilfork week one prediction. You got the Patriots, who are actually underdogs in this one. 3.5 points they're getting, Vince. Who do you got week one?
I love it. I love the Patriots, because everybody doubting, they look at the draft picks and what they did last year, and they struggling here, and the preseason didn't look good. But I know Bill. Bill has something cooking up, and everybody in that organization and with those players included, they know what they've been working for. So they know they're going to have a tough road ahead of them, starting week 1 on the road against a division opponent that's going to play tough, but I think they're up for the challenge. And I think that's why Bill sent them down there early this week to kind of get all acclimated to the weather with no excuses. So I'm expecting 24-21 Patriots. That's me.
Oh, all right. Well, a lot of people around here are going to love that. Vince Wilfork, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be seeing you every Wednesday throughout the football season. Great talking with you.